Thursday. I hope everyone's having as good a day as mine so far. It's only 10 a.m. here, but it has been a pretty good day so far. So hopefully everyone else is having a really good day also. Today I wanted to talk about like letting go, and I guess the best way to say it would be like keeping the faith. And this is where it's really super difficult for people who are, we're overwhelmed, stressed, high anxiety, all this. Like we we literally survive and live through control. That is our survival mechanism. It's because there's so much going on and we have so much, to do. Um, we really hyper control everything to try and have some sort of balance, like we're trying to achieve some sort of balance in our lives. And unfortunately, I mean, we don't realize it, but we really are creating all of our own chaos, our own drama. This is for the most part self-induced. And the big problem with that is the drama, the chaos, the high anxiety, the overwhelm, all of that has become our comfort zone because that's what we've been living in for so long that that's what we know. So we think we can get control over our lives with all this chaos by micromanaging and controlling everything. And of course, it only backfires because if you've ever dealt with a micromanager, it just nothing really turns out well. It just adds more stress and it's not good. So this is one of our biggest challenges. And part of this also, I talked in one of my previous videos about balance, like the energy balance, the masculine feminine balance. And that masculine energy is the go getter, get it done, like business, really doing the tasks and the chores and working. And then the feminine energy is more of that emotional side, the caring, the playing, the relaxing, the nurturing. um, Really, if we think that that old school idea of man and woman, like a husband and wife, the husband goes to work, he works hard, he's gone 10 hours a day, he makes the money, he keeps the house safe, rah, right? The mother, because normally back then everyone had kids, so the mother would nurture, take care of the house, take care of the kids, with the friends, the garden, like, right? It's all that side of it. And this is just kind of the energies kind of represent that. So when we're too in control, when we're too focused on, getting all that stuff done, controlling everything, and we're just too masculine, we're off balance. And when we're off balance, we cannot fully succeed at what we're trying to do. It really drags us down. It just makes everything so much harder. Um, it's kind of just having the faith that whatever system you're using, whatever you're doing to try and better yourself, knowing that it's going to work, knowing that it does get better. So if you're following me, any tips, tricks I do, like the positivity and gratitude, doing that every day, especially like starting every morning with gratitude, trying to find the positives in things. And again, this is that, list out to practice, list out events that have happened in the day or previously that week that you just are like, this is bad. These things are bad. And for each event, write it out, write what happened, and actually sit and think with it and find at least one positive. If you find like 10, awesome, write that down because it's all training our mind how to find the positives. But this is one of those, like, you have to do it every day. It's building a habit, it's building a skill, building that muscle. It's like going to the gym. We don't just go to the gym one time and come out Arnold Schwarzenegger. We need to get there. We need to build the muscles. We need to like really form the habits and do it repeatedly to really see the progress, right? And about 3 weeks to form a habit is the average for most people. Some people will be a little more, some people will be a little less, but on average, 3 weeks. So it's very important to have faith that this will make a difference, that this does work. So, and that having faith, not good for people overwhelmed, high stress, but letting go of the control. Because the more we try to control the outcome, the more we demand life give us what we're working for, the more we're pushing it away. It I hope it makes sense. It's like trying to force something. I don't know if you've ever dealt with like a stubborn, I think of my dog. We can, if we're being gentle and we're going with the flow and we're just like walk up, and I have a big guy, he's about 90 pounds. And if I'm trying to guide him somewhere and I just kind of gently like, okay, this is what I'd like to do. Let's go over here. He's very malleable and he'll go and just kind of gently like, hey, I would like it if we go more this direction. No problem. No effort on my behalf. Just like doing the motions. Done. And he goes and we're good. Now, if I go up and I demand and I start being forceful and I start pushing, his natural reaction is to dig the feet in and like plant himself. And like 90 pounds. I don't know if you guys have dealt with a 90-pound dog or any sort of like maybe a child really kind of doing their thing, really being stubborn, whatever, throwing a tantrum, whatever it might be. It's kind of a lot of weight to try and push around. And so the more I try and force him and the more I go at him, he is just leaning back and like, good luck, good luck. Now I'm just like, probably sweating with effort, trying to force this, trying to push this. And the more I force, the more he pushes back. And think like dogs and kids, especially, like they are just like little creatures of nature. They have that innate ability to sense energy. They have all these innate abilities, that are naturally within us. And as adults, we just choose to stop listening to them, stop focusing on them. We kind of block them out. We get all encompassed with our lives and our work and our to-dos and all these things that we lose that little creativity, imagination. We stop listening to our intuition. Our intuition is just that's our core guiding us. Like it's a big thing, and that's another subject, but that's a big thing. And we just lose all these things in becoming like work productive driven adults. And so if you think like back to my dog, his innate reaction to me trying to force and push is to push back. This is how life is. So when we force and we're like, I'm doing positive, I'm being grateful every day. Okay, first of all, your energy is all kinds of wrong. Who wants to be in that space with you? Nobody, including like life. The life energy is like, whoa, pull it back. We're going to let that person simmer for a bit, right? So you're not going to get what you want because you are way off balance and just unpleasant energy around that. And that, yeah, I've done positivity for 2 weeks now. I should just be a positive person. You're trying to force it. Just go through the motions, go through the actions, and have the faith, know it's going to work and it's going to come and it's going to happen. That is when we let go, we don't put a date on it, we have zero expectations. We just know it'll happen eventually. And I know, super, super hard for people like us. We are control freaks when we're just trying to survive life. But have this in the back of your mind. If you can slowly start implementing this whenever you can, every little step forward helps. Every little step is a great win. And as long as we're taking, even if it's the tiniest step ever, it is better than no step at all. So this is super important, guys. And well, I know everything's super important. But it's that the more we force, the more we just expect, the more we demand, the less we are going to get. So this is where, again, Just need to let it happen. It'll come. I would like to just say, like, seriously, all of my clients, I do these tools, these techniques with. Everyone I work with who actually implements them, like uses them, practices them, has the faith that they are going to, it works for literally all of them. The ones that trust and do the work and practice and know it's going to get better, it does for 100% of them. So it really is, it does work, but it's that like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we have doubts, if we deep down know it's not going to work, then it's not going to work because we're going to make it not work, right? It's that if you think that you're going to, and I've done this myself back in my day, prove we're right, prove it's not our fault, prove that we're the victim here, and we're not responsible. All these stories that we've told ourselves, these wrong, terrible stories, then that's going to happen because you're going to make it happen. It's this self-fulfilling prophecy. So I've done this in my past when I was overwhelmed. And of course, because we're control freaks, we also tend to always be right. Yeah, that was me too, guys. Totally guilty of that. And so I remember trying this program and trying something, and I went into it knowing it wasn't going to work for me, but I'll give it a try, right? No, I'm not. I've already decided it's not working. Why am I trying to pretend? Why am I trying to, justify, oh, but I'm trying it? No, no, no. You've already decided it's not working. So you're just lying. Like I was lying to myself. And then, of course, when I implemented these things, which I, half-assed at best because I knew it wasn't going to work. Oh, that's not going to work for me. Whatever. Oh, that's kind of stupid. Oh, I'll try it anyway, though. Right? Of course, it didn't work because I made it not work, because I didn't even give it a chance to work. Right? And think about how many times we think that we know, whatever, I'll try, it's not going to work. Don't even try because you've already decided it's not going to work and therefore it won't. That's kind of as simple as that is. So, unfortunately, if you're that person, I will just do that tough love, hard truth of you need to check your attitude. And again, I was that person. I had to check my attitude. You have to go in clean slate and be like, all right, what I'm doing clearly isn't working. Back when I was overwhelmed, before I implemented these things, when I was, such that control freak, so stressed, anxiety ruling my life. We know everything and we know it's not going to work, and we really self-sabotage ourselves to keep us there. But you take a hard look, and I had to take a hard look at my life, and did I like my life? Am I happy with my everyday? Right? Like, is this what I want out of life? And the answers were no. I obviously stressed out, can't enjoy anything because I'm worried about everything. I have so much chaos and drama around me, which of course I'm creating, not even knowing it. Just overwhelmed and exhausted all the time. Like literally, guys, like I remember just being so tired of being so tired, which is like the weirdest thing to say, but I know y'all relate to this, like just so exhausted. And of course, we're not happy. How can anyone possibly be happy with that lifestyle? But then we go in knowing that nothing can help us, knowing we're obviously doing the best. Now, I will say we are all doing the best we can with what we know. It's whether we choose to open up our minds and learn something new, to know something more, to be able to change. So, yes, we were doing our best with a closed mind, knowing we could not do better. Right? Like, how crazy is that? How limiting is that? And then, of course, we just let the cycle continue, right? So you really have to, and it's that saying, nothing will change unless you change it, right? If you're expecting something to change and you do nothing differently, nothing will change. So if you're sitting there and you're not liking your life, if you want something better, if you think you can do better, you can do better. But you need to trust in something bigger, in something you haven't already tried. You need to go in with that clean slate, open mind of learning something new, to implement something new, to do something differently, to try and make that change, right? And this isn't to say that every single thing, every single tool works for every single person. We do need to realize, we are all different people. We have different lives. So sometimes we need to implement that task a little bit differently that suits us and suits our life, and, to be able to make it work. Like, I will always, always strongly advise the positivity and gratitude in the morning. Let's start your day off properly. Let's get our mindset right away, first thing, in that positive mindset, so we can try and just keep it there all day. And just, yeah, I mean, it's like having a good breakfast starts you off in a good way, right? Like, mornings to me are very important. But if this, for whatever reason, you cannot make this work, it's just not your thing, maybe doing your positivity and gratitude at lunchtime. Maybe you have a nice long lunch break, you have lots of extra time, you have time for a short meditation. Great, make it work that way. It doesn't have to be the morning. I find it works best for me. I recommend this for other people. Or maybe, you really like the bedtime. You can go back and you can review everything that happened in the day. And this makes it a lot easier for you to really try and pull out those positives. Great. When you're just learning to find those positives and it's actually an effort to find those positives, and then you can go to sleep in that positive and grateful mentality. Awesome, right? Like, whatever you can do to fit it in your life that does not cause you more stress and anxiety, and really just feels right for you, right? So it's all about, yeah, making, knowing that you can make it suit your life somehow. Don't just discredit it and decide it's not going to work because, oh, my minute mornings are too busy, I don't have time for that, I want to do that, or whatever. Then you've already decided that it won't work. Um, so yeah, that's really important. And just a side note, because someone did ask me this, uh, the positivity and gratitude, like, she asked, like, do I always have to work at finding this? Is this always going to be something I think about? Or is it just going to be my natural state? And 100%, when you get there, that is literally your natural state. Like, for myself, like, literally, people say something and instantly I'm like, oh, at least that didn't happen. That's wonderful. Or something happens to me and I'm like, ooh, good thing, that, blah, blah, blah. That is just, I naturally, 100%, my first thought is something positive. So this becomes a natural instinct where it's just who you are, how you are. You see the positives, you see the silver linings in everything. You don't even have to think about finding them or pointing them out. They are just there, which is, of course, wonderful, because if you're thinking positive, if you're finding the positive, if you're seeing the positive, that's a happy state. And so naturally, you're just kind of happy. And that's the goal, right? That's just the goal, is just to be happy in life, to enjoy life, to love it. So it can happen, it will happen. You just have to keep on keeping on and have that faith. Do not try and force it, do not try and push it. And I will say, we will have, I've talked about in previous videos, the pushback, the regression, where we get so far, we're doing so well. It's like we subconsciously get scared and our mind wants to pull us back to that comfort zone of chaos and drama, and because that's how we know how to survive. And our minds are always trying to keep us safe and survive. even though that is not a healthy, and so I would not classify that as safe, but it has become the comfort zone of what we know. So even though, you're doing really well, you're doing all the things, you're keeping the faith, know that you are going to have these little regressions, and just to be aware of them. Even myself, I had a couple weeks ago, I had a little moment of, okay, why hasn't this happened yet? I've done all the things. And then, yeah, hold the phone, hold the phone. Boy, that is an expectation and a half. I've done my things. Give me my reward. Not how it works. And so I had to pull back. I had to recenter. I had to, couple of breaths. Yep. It'll come. It always comes. No matter what it is, it always comes in the end. I don't decide when. It'll show up when it's meant to. It'll show up when I'm ready for it. It'll show up when I stop trying to force and push it to show up, which it did. Once I let go, I went, I regrounded myself, I walked barefoot, I played with my plants. I was like, okay, no, I'm going to do the things I need to do to make this happen and trust it'll happen when it's time and it's ready. And sure enough, I let go and I did my little things, and it's like the next day it happened and it showed up. So it, but yeah, just know we need to be aware, and we need to just always be kind of like checking ourselves. Are we expecting? Are we demanding? Or are we just letting go, doing the things, doing the tasks that we need to, and trusting that the result will show up? Okay, guys? So I say it in every video, super important, everything's super important, but it really all ties together. And it can just be so frustrating when you're working so hard and you're not seeing those results. But it's not about, again, it's like those cheesy movies. Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. We believe it'll happen, just trust, right? So, and also that we're just, again, creating more drama, creating more anxiety. Where is it? Why isn't it here? That's stress. That's negative, right? You can hear it, so trust it, recenter, keep those. The meditations will truly help in this. So keep doing those meditations, find the ones you like, and even if I'm sure there's ones about keeping the faith out there. I haven't looked, but there's a meditation for everything. So yeah, guys, trust it, know it'll work, take the deep breath, relax, and it'll be what it is, and it'll show up when it's meant to. Life is great. Everything's fine. You're fine. It's awesome. Uh, yeah, keep on with all the tools and everything you learn, and know every single day it just keeps getting better, and it will just keep getting better. So